Hello everyone, welcome to Vysh Courses YouTube channel and to the series of current updates. In this video, we are going to discuss about the topic International Monetary Fund asked El Salvador to stop using Bitcoin. We already know that the Bitcoin was used as a legal tender in the El Salvador region. It's the first country to accept the Bitcoin as legal tender. So let's see what is legal tender and why IMF is asking El Salvador to stop using Bitcoin. What are the reasons behind it in the further slides. Before that, please subscribe to this channel, click the notification bell icon and like the video if you liked it, and also don't forget to share it with your friends and neighbors and give your feedback in the comment box. So this can act as a source of motivation to us and will come up with more and more interesting content. With this note, let's start the video. So IMF actually they asked El Salvador to remove Bitcoin as a legal tender. Why the IMF has asked El Salvador to remove the legal tender? So what is legal tender? Legal tender is nothing but it is anything which is recognized by a law as a means to settle a public or a private debt or meet a financial obligation, which can include the tax payments or the contracts or the legal fines or the damages. So, if the law is permitting to clear the debt, the private debt or the public debt, or to meet any financial obligations, or to include the tax payments or the contracts or the legal fines or damages, then it is said to be a legal tender. So in India, this legal tender will be recognized by the RBI, and the RBI notes and coins are recognized by the legal tender which we are using. The coins and the notes which we are using are having the legal tender, because of which we are using them. Okay, cryptocurrencies are not generally accepted for the use of money because they don't have the legal tender status. As they don't have the legal tender status, we don't usually use the cryptocurrencies. Okay, they don't have proper regulation. So but El Salvador is one such a country which accepted Bitcoin as a legal tender in June 2017. In earlier June, July, September time, they accepted Bitcoin as a legal tender earlier. So this El Salvador is a region in the Central America. So this is the highlighting the region. So this is the El Salvador region. This country has actually accepted Bitcoin as a legal tender. So, International Monetary Fund, that is IMF, has asked El Salvador to change the course and stop using Bitcoin as a legal tender. It it is because they are asking to stop using it as a legal tender because it is citing the large risks. Okay, there are large risks which are involved in making this Bitcoin or cryptocurrency as a legal tender, because of which they wanted El Salvador to remove the Bitcoin as a legal tender. So, El Salvador is the first country in the world to embrace the digital money, making it legal to use in all the transaction along with the US dollar. So, they also use the US dollar. They don't have the official currency, they'll use US dollar. Apart from it, they wanted Bitcoin to be as a legal tender. It is the first country to accept it. So, International Monetary Fund wants El Salvador to drop the highly volatile cryptocurrency Bitcoin as a legal tender and they strictly regulate the electronic wallet. The government has pushed adoption of across the country. So, across the country, they adopted this Bitcoin, and IMF don't want El Salvador to use this highly, why it is called as highly volatile? We don't know when the value of the Bitcoin increases and when the value of Bitcoin gradually decreases. So we don't know what it happens, like when it will fall and when it will rise. So it is highly volatile in nature. So these kind of volatility will like pose a danger on the country. That is the reason IMF don't want El Salvador to use it. So Chivo wallet is a crypto wallet for citizens to facilitate the transactions in the Bitcoin in the El Salvador region. So they are using the Chivo wallet. So the part of El Salvador's nationwide move into Bitcoin also involved launching a national virtual wallet called Chivo. So Chivo is the national virtual wallet which is used by whole El Salvador people. So this Chivo wallet offers no fee transactions. So they don't have any fee while transactions, and it will also allow for the quick cross border payments. So for a country where 70% of the citizens do not have access to the traditional financial services, these people are having the Chivo kind of wallet. So Bukele promoted the adoption of this Bitcoin as a way for thousands of Salvadorians to avoid money transfer fees when relatives living outside the country sent home remittances also. So IMF directors agreed that Chivo e-wallet could facilitate digital means of payment, thereby helping to boost the financial inclusion. Though they also told that there is a strict regulation, there should be a strict regulation and the oversight on this kind of bitcoins. Many Salvadorians have reported cases of identity theft. So there is identity theft, there is no privacy. So many cases are registered regarding this privacy and identity theft. So the adoption of cryptocurrency as the legal tender will have large risk for the financial and the market integrity, financial stability, and the consumer protection, according to IMF. So these are some kind of risks which bitcoins are involved with. After doubling its value last year, Bitcoin has plunged like below where it was when the Congress voted June 9. The Bitcoin law went into effect in September. Most of these countries do not recognize cryptocurrencies as legal tender because they do recognize the value these digital units represent and indicate their function as either a medium of exchange, unit of account, or a store of value. So from the start, there were concerns about the digital currency created to be beyond the control of the governments. So these these bitcoins will have, they will be beyond the control of the governments, and it will have the criminal activity also. It will involve some criminal activity also. That is the concern that most of the governments will have. That's the reason they won't accept Bitcoin as a legal tender. And Bukele, he is a darling of the cryptocurrencies promoters, and since spoken of building a Bitcoin city and issuing Bitcoin backed bonds, something else some IMF directors expressed concern over. So El Salvador told that they want to build a Bitcoin city and Bitcoin backed bonds also, but it will involve more and more risks, which IMF is concerned about. So the IMF report went on to say that some directors had expressed concern over the risk associated with Bitcoin backed bonds, referring to the president's plan to raise $1 billion, which is involving with the Bitcoin bond in partnership with Blockstream, a digital assets infrastructure company. So, as the president of El Salvador planned to raise $1 billion, which is through Bitcoin, the IMF directors told that it is very risky. Don't do that. So Bukele office said it did not immediately have a comment on the IMF statement. So they did not commented to the IMF statement immediately. El Salvador's Treasury Minister Alejandro Zelaya noted that IMF agreement that boosting financial inclusion was important. So, boosting financial inclusion is important according to the Treasury Minister of the El Salvador. So, IMF did commend Bukele's government on its management of the COVID-19 pandemic. Persistent fiscal deficits and high debt service are leading to the large and increasing financial needs, according to the statement given by them. So, under current policies, public debt is expected to rise to about 96% of GDP in 2026 on an unsustainable path. So as the government debt is getting increased about, that is about as high as 96% of the GDP in 2026, so financial inclusion is much important for them according to their statements. So okay, I'm sorry, this is all about the news. I think so you found this video interesting. Thank you for watching, and please stay tuned to the channel because we will upload more and more interesting content. Do subscribe to this channel, like the video, and share it with your friends and neighbors. Thank you everyone. Jai Hind.